Hello, I'm Carrie-Anne Ings and this is SatTV Week. This week Tricia has the launch news and Richard talks to Tim Crane of the Isle of Man Government. But first, Eutelsat Communications has announced that leading broadcasters from Bosnia and Herzegovina are strengthening their collaboration with the launch of a new platform called TeamSat on the Eutelsat 16A satellite. Serving a growing audience, currently standing at over 11 million DTH homes, Eutelsat 16A is the leading position for satellite broadcasting in Central and Eastern Europe. The TeamSat platform, comprising 7 television channels and 2 radio stations, will be officially launched on September the 1st. By joining forces in a single multiplex, TV Hayat, Radio Televizia BN, Face and Al Jazeera Balkans are optimising their resources to reach into TV homes in Bosnia and Herzegovina, as well as expatriate communities across Europe. The channels will be multiplexed and uplinked to Eutelsat 16A by Team Media, which is installing a teleport in Sarajevo.
International Launch Services and Asia Satellite Telecommunications have signed a contract for an ILS Proton launch as early as 2014 from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. The contract is for launching one of AsiaSat's future satellites, AsiaSat 6, AsiaSat 8 or AsiaSat 9, a replacement satellite to be procured for AsiaSat 4. The launch contract includes an option for AsiaSat to order 1 additional launch service from ILS for any of its upcoming 3 satellites. Frank McKenna, president of ILS, told SatTV that the successful launches of AsiaSat 5 in 2009 and AsiaSat 7 in 2011 enabled the timely expansion of AsiaSat's service offering across the Asia-Pacific region. We are honoured to play a key role in AsiaSat's growth over the years and fully support AsiaSat's fleet expansion programme. The Hosted Payload Alliance has completed a position paper providing recommendations for changes to the US space transportation policy, which is currently under review. HPA, a trade association composed of 14 leading space industry companies, recommended adjusting the foreign launch exemption process to facilitate solutions for launching US government payloads hosted on commercial satellites that are likely to be launched overseas. This position paper marks the inaugural policy recommendations from HPA.
Tim, Isle of Man, quite a lot of space industry there. Why?
Good question. We've really been in the space industry now for about 10 years. It all started off with the formation of Mansat on the Isle of Man by Chris Stott in 2001. Identified the potential for the Isle of Man to become a jurisdiction filing for orbital filings with the ITU. Early success in that area. That raised the profile of the island, and the rest is history almost. But it all can be traced back to that humble start back in 2001. Since that time, we've developed quite a credible clustering in terms of major satellite operators, non-for-profit organisations, educational establishments. So we've got a very credible cluster now.
Now, you've recently been praised in a report by the Institute of Directors. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, that was an interesting study. It was a study by the IOD, as you say, into the infrastructure of the British space industry. And the IOD chose to include in their report the Isle of Man as a case study. So it was very full of praise for the Isle of Man, championed what the Isle of Man had done, and from our point of view it was very positive because we don't see ourselves as a competitor to the UK. we see ourselves as complementary to what the UK is doing. If it's good for us, it's good for the UK. If it's good for the UK, it's good for us. There are elements that the UK can't do that we can do, so we see ourselves as adding value, and it was good to be portrayed in that report and it reflected in that way. It's very much how we see ourselves position-wise.
Where do you go from here with the Isle of Man and the space and satellite sector?
I think more of the same, obviously. We'd like to grow what we have already. We have a study underway at the moment looking at the potential for creating a space register. We already have a very successful ship register, an aircraft register, and we have a study being done by the International Space University in conjunction with a number of other partners to see whether there's any commercial need or opportunity for us to create a space register, a register of space assets, to see whether that would be of interest to the space industry. So that's an area of innovation that we're exploring at the moment. Obviously, we'll wait to see what the feedback from industry is. If they see it's what industry wants, we'll do it. If industry say, be a nice to have, but actually wouldn't add that much value, then we'll probably pass it by. But it's certainly something we're wanting to look at the moment.
Now, space and satellites, quite a dynamic sector. What do you see as the future trends?
It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, with the war in Iraq having come to an end, the war in Afghanistan winding down, the amount of military traffic and demand, I think, will plateau, perhaps level off. You've got the sort of continued growth of high definition television, the natural renewal of assets going on. But I think in certain areas there's potential for overcapacity, perhaps overcapacity in Africa, some overcapacity in Asia as well. So it's difficult to see really, but I think overall probably the industry levelling off a little bit compared to recent years in terms of growth. That's probably how I would see it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.